Hey folks, I just want to do a quick video on the Launch Control XL because there's been some quite nice developments on this in recent weeks. Novation Launch Control XL is obviously a really nice compact controller, lots of functionality on it, 24 knobs, 16 buttons at the bottom here, whole load of faders as well, and some more function stuff here. Originally it's designed as an Ableton Live controller, but of course it'll work with any kind of music software. Now that's great, and it's great for controlling music software, but I'm a big fan of working exclusively with hardware really. And so I saw a lot of power in this thing for being able to control external devices, such as, for example, my trusty and beloved Elektron Octatrack that I have just set up here. Problem is, of course, we've got a USB connection, and the Octatrack does not take MIDI over USB, so it actually needs to have some sort of MIDI connection. Well, I did a little project video, it was last year, and some of you may have seen it. It was called Project Calc, and essentially it was a little bit of an all hardware setup using some Novation products. And I was using the Launch Control XL to control the Octatrack, but the more astute of the viewers of that particular video spotted that I had to use a computer basically to get the MIDI signal out of the Launch Control XL into the Octatrack. Well, the reason I had to do that is at the time the firmware that we had in the Launch Control XL wouldn't really let it work with this type of box. Now this is quite an interesting thing. This is a Kenton MIDI USB host device, and it lets me plug in any USB device into here, and it will convert that into an actual standard MIDI output. So there are many of these, well, there's a number of these different boxes about. This is the Kenton one. There are others such as, for example, the iConnect 4 Plus. Teenage Engineering Op Labs should also do it, although I've not tested that one. And the other one that I'm really excited about having a play with is the Bohm box by Florian Bohmers, the Bohm's MIDI translator guys. But this is the one I've got, and we're going to just very quickly plug it in. I'm powering this from an iPhone charger with a USB cable. Next thing is plug in USB connection into here, and then we'll get that plugged into the launch control as well. So there it goes. Okay, that'll power itself up now. See the lights come on. And now with a MIDI cable plugged into the MIDI input on the Octatrack, I can plug into the MIDI output, and hey presto, I have the Launch Control XL sending MIDI directly to the Octatrack without any computer involved. So a really nice development. The firmware, by the way, is going to be available on the Novation beta site, so you will be able to download this and give it a try as well. I've also put together a whole raft of templates to specifically control the Octatrack as well, so you can have a play around with those or just create your own. I mean, it's super easy using the Launch Control XL editor. All I did was really just sit down with the MIDI implementation chart and the Octatrack manual and just say, okay, I want this to be a volume fader, I want this to control this, and so on and so forth. Right, now we're plugged in, I'm going to switch the camera onto Launch Control XL and just show you a little bit on how we do all of this. Okay, now we're fully connected. We have the Launch Control XL connected in through the MIDI USB host into the Octatrack. So let's explore how we've got it set up. It's actually pretty straightforward. We have 8 user templates on Launch Control XL. So the way I've decided to do it is to set track 1 to be on user template 1, track 2 to be user template 2, track 3 user template 3, track 4 user template 4, and so on. So for example, if I want to control track 1, basically I hold user 1, press track 1, and now I'm going to be controlling track 1. Always my faders will control all 8 tracks, so regardless of which page I'm in, this bottom half of the Launch Control XL stays exactly the same. This means I've always got access to my faders, and I can always bring in all of the tracks regardless of which page I'm on. So yeah, let's go to track 1. Again, my 24 knobs here. Now these will focus on the track that I select. So in this instance, I'm on track 1, and here we can see I'm selected so we can see what's going on. But now I can control my pitch, for example. Here, control the rate as well. Re-triggers. And then start and length as well. got instant access to all of the parameters on the playback page, but at the same time I can control things, for example, like my filters, which are going to be here. This is effects page 2, so effects page 1, the yellow. So if we look and we go to effects page 1, you'll see now. So what this means is I actually have access to all of my parameters at all times on all tracks. So it's a really nice way of working. The buttons at the bottom here also act as mute switches. The top row here are for my audio tracks. The bottom row, which if I switch to MIDI here, you'll see are for my MIDI tracks. And so that's nice. I've got 8 mute tracks for the audio tracks, 8 mute tracks for the MIDI tracks. I have no MIDI devices connected in this instance, but you know, it's there if we want it. Yeah, the other thing as well is if we go back to the audio tracks, bring the other stuff in. I've also created a solo button here as well. So if I want to solo a track, for example, I might just want to solo track 6, just press the solo button. And then we can unsolo that as well. That's a nice, again, another bit of access that we generally don't get. You've got to go in deep to access that Octatrack. So there it is. That's my basic Launch Control XL and Octatrack mapping. Oh, one last thing I should say is I've set track 8 to be the master track. I always use the master track when I'm working on the Octatrack. And again, we've got the same functions on the bottom half here, but the knobs now represent controls that I wanted on the effects. So for example, I have a delay, dry wet there. That's channel 6, let's do it on the others. So there we go. So that's the Launch Control XL with the Octatrack, with my mapping. You can get hold of the mapping with the beta firmware as well, so you can have a play around on that. And then, yeah, if you want to edit it again, use the Launch Control XL editor. Thanks very much.